tonight, night. We ain't really worried about nothing, yo.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to our second part of our C# tutorial playlist. In the previous tutorial, we went over the theory and getting yourself familiar with Visual Studio and getting everything all set up. In this tutorial, you will actually be writing your first program. Anyway, all I've done so far is go to File, New Project, kind of like we did in the previous lesson, and we're going to pick Console Application for now, because that way you can focus on the background work and not have to worry about any interface. So, go ahead and pick Console Application for now, and you will be greeted with this nice little code I made for you. So let's just go over what all this stuff is. This right here, this is your import. You can import different, there's a special name for this, I really forget, and it's not that important to be honest, but this is where you import different classes that are built into the .NET framework. For example, if we wanted to work with web clients, see if I type in web client, it doesn't recognize it. It's going to throw some errors. That is because the web client belongs to the system.net class. So we would type in using system.net, which imports the system.net class into our project, and that way when we type web client, boom, it'll show up. And it solves those errors because you need to do you need to finish it out, but yeah. You see, if we took that away, it will not recognize that. Anyway, moving on. This is your namespace, this is the scope. That's what we need to do. We need to go over what scope is. Scope is basically anything in between those things right there. That is a scope. So the class program is inside the scope namespace console application 6, and static void main is in the class program. This is, let me explain to you how this kind of works. Don't worry about what I'm doing right now. I'm just writing a simple function. So inside our function Bob, yes I know, very creative. Inside our function Bob, we have console.writeLine and all this other garbage you don't have to worry about at this second. What that means is when, say we typed in Bob, what this means is when we type in Bob, it will search for the function Bob, which is here, and everything inside of its scope, which are these two things, is going to be executed. So that would be this right here, which is, it's just the way that the code's written. You'll get used to it pretty fast, don't worry about it. Alright, moving on. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Whoops. Alright, I thought I had to sneeze, but I didn't. So ignore that. Anyway, back to this. Forget this right here. I'm only going to be going over a few things to get you started. Just kind of follow along and try to learn the best you can. I learned through example, so I don't know. I hope you guys learn the same way, because that's kind of what I'm going to be doing here. Throughout our tutorials, I would recommend going to Microsoft's website and looking up their documentation. So in case you have something specific, you want to learn that, but yeah. Okay, so let's go over some of the basic syntax for console applications. Pretty much everything's going to start with console dot. So let's do console.writeLine, which is kind of self-explanatory. Hello world. every single line of code needs to end with a semicolon, just the way it's set up. Another thing you need to know, all the code is executed in order. So if I also wrote console.writeLine second line, because this is that is before this is always going to be executed first, and then it will be this, and it will go down the list. This will never come in front of this one. Hope that makes sense. It should. It's called scripting. Everything kind of goes in order like that. Alright. So, if we go ahead and debug our application, oh, it just closed. Why did it do that? Because it ran out of, the script ended. It ran out of stuff to do, so it just closed. That's why we have to write console.read so that it will pause, so that way we can read this. And then after, here I'll kind of explain. So there, it paused, but you see if we try to go again, it closes because it has no more code to execute. But if it had more stuff after that, it would not close. See? Oh, I guess it would close because we forgot another second read. Oh. Alright, okay, so you get the point. Alright, so that is kind of the most basic stuff. Let's go ahead with a console.clear. So console.clear pretty much clears the console. Oh boy, I keep forgetting to add these. Here. Oh, I'm pretty sure I went over this in the previous tutorial, but C# is case sensitive, so that needs to be a capital, or else I don't have an error. So, whoops. Alright. That's going to be it for this tutorial. Next tutorial we're actually going to continue going over our syntax, and yeah, so stay tuned.